Hey there and welcome. Today, we're diving into something super important. The journey every single great idea has to take before it becomes a real, funded project. It's really the bridge between a flash of inspiration and, something that actually changes things. So let's figure out how to build that bridge. You know you have. We all have. It's that sudden spark, right? That what if moment where you just see a better way to do something or create something new. It's an awesome feeling. That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because an idea, on its own, well, it's just an idea. It's not enough. You need a process, a way to prove that it's actually worth it, and a solid plan to make it happen. And that is exactly what we are going to unpack today.
Okay, so before any idea gets the green light, before it gets funding or any kind of real support, it has to prove itself. I like to think of it as an idea gauntlet. It's the series of tough tests designed to see if your idea has what it takes to actually survive out there in the real world.
This first part of the gauntlet is called project appraisal. And look, this isn't about shooting down ideas, it's about making them stronger. It's like a systematic stress test that looks at an idea from every single angle to make sure it's not just exciting, but that it's also relevant, doable, and can actually last. So how do you do that? How do you really appraise a project? Well, it boils down to what you can think of as a full-body health checkup for your idea. And it covers 6 absolutely vital areas. Each of these 6 things you see here, they represent a really critical question that every successful project has to be able to answer. If you get these right, you've got an incredibly solid foundation. But if you ignore even one, the whole thing could just fall apart. So let's break them down one by one. First up, the technical appraisal. This is the nuts and bolts. It's the can we actually build this thing question. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't plan to build a skyscraper on a swamp, right? This is where you check if you have the right materials, the right tech, and if the physical location can even handle your idea. Next, we zoom out. We look past the project itself and think about its impact on the world with the economic appraisal. This asks a much bigger question. Okay, but does this thing benefit society as a whole? It's not just about profit. It's about things like creating jobs, improving the community, that kind of thing.
And then we have the financial appraisal. This is the bottom line. It's where we get brutally honest and ask, will this make money? This is a deep dive into all the costs, the cash flow, the potential profits, everything you need to know to see if the project can actually stand on its own 2 feet financially.
You know, a brilliant idea with a bad team, that's a recipe for disaster. The management appraisal gets that. It basically asks, do we have the right people in the driver's seat? It takes a hard look at the team behind the idea, because at the end of the day, you're not just betting on the idea, you're betting on the people who are going to make it happen. You could build the most amazing, revolutionary product in the world, but if nobody wants it, it just doesn't matter. The marketing appraisal is that essential reality check. It digs into market research and sales forecasts to answer the most critical question of all. Is anyone actually going to buy this? And finally, and honestly, this one's more important now than ever, the environmental appraisal. This is basically the do no harm check. It carefully examines what kind of footprint the project will leave on the natural world, making sure that progress today doesn't come with a crazy cost for the planet tomorrow. Okay, deep breath. Your idea survived the gauntlet. It's been proven to be feasible, valuable, and sustainable. Amazing! But a great idea is pretty useless if you can't convince anyone else to get on board. And that's where this next stage comes in. You have to tell its story. And this is where the project proposal enters the picture. Think of it as the ultimate sales pitch for your idea. It's this formal, persuasive document that's your single best chance to clearly and powerfully answer those huge questions. What are you going to do? Why are you doing it? And how in the world are you going to pull it off? In writing a great proposal, it's like using both sides of your brain at once. It's absolutely a science. You need logical planning, achievable goals, all the data. But it is also an art. You have to build a convincing story, use powerful language, and create what the source material here calls sales value. You really need both to win. So how do you actually put one of these powerful documents together? Let's get practical and break down the step-by-step process for building a project proposal that actually gets a yes. Building a proposal is definitely a journey. First things first, you have to deeply understand what the client or the stakeholder actually wants. That's your statement of work. From there, you do your homework, the feasibility study.
Then you sketch out a rough draft, a preliminary design. And only then are you ready to build out that final detailed proposal. A really solid proposal usually has three big chunks. You've got the technical part, that's the what and the how, the problem you're solving, the team, the plan. Then there's the financial part, that's the how much, all the costs, budgets, and profits. And finally, the management part, that's the who, where you prove your team is experienced and stable enough to actually deliver.
All right, let's pull all of this together. After all the number crunching, the planning, the writing, what's the end goal here? What's it all for? Well, it's about turning that little spark of an idea into real, tangible impact in the world.
And this is the key takeaway, really. This whole process, the appraisal and the proposal, it's not just a bunch of boring paperwork. This structure is the very thing that separates wishful thinking from projects that can actually change the world. It's what makes sure we build the right things and build them the right way.
And that pretty much brings us to the end. This framework, it isn't just for huge companies or governments, it's a powerful tool for absolutely anyone with a vision they believe in. Which leaves us with just one last question to think about. What great idea will you put to the test?